Hey guys, let's start with new chapter of Loyalpin Volume 2, Chapter 38, Yang Ping Rose. My heart, you're my heart, as beautiful as an angel in heaven, soft, radiant face and complexion, like the moon's eclipse, no blemishes. Your eyes are as beautiful as doe eyes. Your beautiful brow is an artist drawn, as slender as Kinran, a folk creature. Everything is beautiful and perfect. The praise for Lady Busapa's beauty that Princess Anil had given Prick to practice reading poetry and literature flashed inside her mind unstopped when she saw Chong Fa wearing a navy blue sarong with silver stripes. At the same time, her top is a vermilion strap, making her skin look even whiter. Her chest was decorated with a striking silver chain, and her jet black hair was neatly tied back and pinned with a tired silver hairpin decorated with a bouquet of bright yellow orange flowers. The hairline from the bun goes down her neck, making her face look sweeter, especially when combined with her walking style amidst the backdrop of the Chong Fa Palace, which has the main element of dark wood with carved designs. Even Prick had to admit that Chong Fa in Chiang Mai was many times more beautiful and sweeter than Chong Fa in Bangkok. Chow Yong, my lady, Prick crawled on her knees towards Chong Fa, who was busy making basisi, with a female servant on a high wooden bench to allow her to sit in the open courtyard in the middle of the house. Chamong Ram has come to see you, my lady, Prick said, looking up at Chong Fa's beautiful face with admiration. Chow Yong's arched eyebrows are so beautiful. Her large, eyed brown eyes in the sunlight seem to have the power to hypnotize anyone who accidentally laid eyes on them and quickly became intoxicated. Her small, prominent nose and light pink, pointy natural lips completed this face beauty. It is beauty that differs from the impeccable beauty and elegance of Princess Anil, or even a beauty of as sweet as the fifth month honey like Lady Pelantita. Nevertheless, if a man were to admire Chong Fa's face seriously, he would easily fall into state of being infatuated. Why did you come to tell me? Where have all the servants in the palace gone to ask my guest to do this? Chong Fa's voice and conversation were as sweet as her face. Prick had never been praised as a guest. She was shocked until her eyes widened. Never mind, Choyong. I sent the princess and prince to the palace door when Chamong Ram came. He probably doesn't know I'm not working in this palace, so he asked me to tell you. Is that so? Choi Yong-fa still sweet with conversing with Prick before turning the order the young servant sitting next to her doing basisi in a calm voice. Tong Nuan, go invite Chomongram to wait at the Yalang Yalang pavilion for me. Choyong, said the young girl, hurrying down to welcome Chomongram as her overlord said. Are you free, Prick? Please come to accompany me. Unexpectedly, Choi Yong-fa suddenly turned around and invited Prick to welcome a vital guest together. Prick is indeed free, lots of free time, because all day today the overlords such as Princess Anil and Lady Pelantita have been accompanying the vice prince and his fiancée on a car ride to see the city of Chiang Mai. At first, Princess Anil wanted Prick to accompany her. Nevertheless, she didn't want to sit in the back seat and irritate Princess Anil's body. Therefore, she regretfully refused Princess Anil's invitation. Will that be good, Choyong? Chow Mungrom may wish to meet and talk with Choyong alone. Rick still couldn't find a good reason to sit and witness the love between Choyong Fa and Chow Mungrom. Let's go together. Choyong Fa's voice was still as sweet as ever. I don't want to go alone. Yes, my lady, Choyong Fa had pleaded. What could Prick say? She could only follow Choyong Fa down the house and then walk along the path to a wooden pavilion covered with a fragrant ylang lang arc as far as palace wall. Sister, Chomongrom spoke with a soft, sweet voice as soon as he met his fiancée. His eyes slightly glanced towards Prick with lots of suspicion. Chow Joey? Prick suppressed her laughter as soon as she heard Choi Yongfa call Chomongrom's casual name and refused to call him Chofi because their age difference was only a few months apart. Have you waited a long time, Chow? Not quite long. Chow Joi's small eyes looked quite juicy as he looked at Chong Fa's face. Please take a seat first. Chong Fa extended her hand and invited Chamong Ram, who had been standing still, to sit down opposite her. Would you like some hot tea or coffee, Chow? Whatever you choose for me. Chamong Ram smiled flirtatiously. Prick noticed that Chong Fa was smiling disdainfully, but in just a moment it changed to a sweet smile. Then jasmine tea would be good. At this time, Chong Fa turned around, half command, half conversing with Tong Non again. The little girl nodded in agreement before disappearing into the kitchen behind the northern palace. You look magnificent in this dark red strap top. It seems that Chamong Ram is playing the role of a blind man who doesn't see a servant like Prick sitting next to the knee of Chong Fa. Last night you were beautiful. Nevertheless, at night I couldn't see your beauty as clearly as during the day. Such a sweet talk. Prick could only praise Chojoy in her heart. Maybe not as beautiful as Western women, Chow, Chong Fa said, while she sent a sweet smile to Chomong Ram. Nevertheless, Prick saw that smile was the most made up smile she had ever seen from Chong Fa. But Chomong Ram doesn't see it the way Prick sees it. Otherwise, Chomong Ram's pale face wouldn't be as light red as an ivy guard like this. It's a pity that I think that you are prettier. Chow Joy may have exaggerated your compliments to me. Chong Fa smiled like a person who has a stance. I'm just a country girl. Hence, when compared to Western girls, can't be compared. Western girls are all very rough. Chomongram's slender eyes now looked deeply infatuated with Chongfa, not as gentle and sweet as a Lana girl like you. At this time, Chongfa didn't respond to anything. She just quietly poured tea into a porcelain cup of Chomongram. The jasmine tea you poured for me smells so good and tastes so good. Still, Chow Joey continued to sweet talk as a sugarcane grinder without stopping, even though Prick was sitting there. Aunt Elisa brought this to Mother Chow. Oh, I just found out recently that Aunt Dararai has a close relationship with a big royal family like Saftaret. From what I saw last night, the princess and prince were all beautiful, like goddess statues, especially Princess Anil. Right, Chow Joey? Prick responded to the conversation with Chomongram in her heart. When she glanced over, she noticed a sparkle in his eyes when the young man mentioned Princess Anil's name. Chow, lovely. Chow Yong Fa's eyes looked like they were floating in a dream without a trace, but not beautiful as you. Still, Chow Joy was still sweet talking until Prick began to want to find some wet tamarind to eat relieve the greasy taste she felt. Are you coming back here permanently, or do you still have plans to study abroad? Chong Fa testing the water. I have come back permanently, sister. Chow Joy answered Chong Fa's question before smiling widely and looking very sincere. From now on, I probably won't run away from Chiang Mai anywhere. Chow Joy's sparkling eyes seemed to stress the word Chiang Mai to only refer the young women before him. Nevertheless, Chow Joy's Chiang Mai had a dull look in her eyes to compare the hope from before to a flickering candle flame. At this time, Chow Joy's conversation about staying Chiang Mai permanently was no different from blowing out a small candle before the eyes of Chong Fa. Will you work in the law field like you studied? Yes, I plan to join the government service. Now my father is looking for me. Chow? Chow Fa answered in a soft voice. The young woman's eyes now looked vacant. Her face had a small smile, as it used to have. Sister, when are you ready to get married? Chomong Ram couldn't restrain himself and asked Chong Fa after patiently remaining silent and sipping several cups of tea. Chong Fa was so shocked that she almost dropped teacup from her hand. Her small face was pale white, and her hand trembled uncontrollably. It will probably a long time, Chow Joy. I'm not ready at all. At this time, Chomong Ram's face was pale and bloodless. The young man blamed himself for being too fast with this move, causing Chong Fa to act as so stubbornly like this. No problem. I can always wait for you. At this point, Prick immediately realized that the reason why Chong Fa had asked Prick to come sitting as a friend meant, at this time, Prick was no different than a personal witness of Chong Fa anyway. Chong Fa had already predicted that a wise servant like Prick would immediately know when she saw the situation between her and Chamong Ram. She didn't have feelings for this fiance, and the person that Chong Fa wanted Prick to tell these stories about was none other than, indeed, only Princess Anil. Good morning, sister. Ciao, brother. Prick, who followed Chong Fa to the Bessie courtyard, could hear the conversation that Princess Anantavut had with Chong Fa. Was Chamong Ram here? The Grand Prince glanced towards Chow Joi, who was walking towards Princess Tararai's residence. Prick had never seen that look in the Grand Prince's eyes before, eyes twinkling like an owner who is jealous of something he loves. Right now, it seems like he'll meet Mother and Princess Alisa. Chow, I must get to know Chamong Ram a bit. The Grand Prince's eyes visibly darkened. Soon we may have to be related. Today, why don't you go to see the city like Prince Anand and Princess Anil Chow? Chong Fa hurriedly changed the topic because she didn't want to hear stories that caused her severe suffering, like the story of Chamong Ram again. Mm, I may have woken up a bit late, so I was too lazy to follow, Prince Anantavat said in a very soft, gentle voice. Pick raised her eyebrows as soon as she heard this. She secretly looked at Prince Anantavat's sharp, dark eyes. It's such a pity, Chow. Chiang Mai is lovely. It might be to blame that Chong Fa's voice was too sweet to make the Grand Prince's eyes suddenly shine brightly. If you said so, I must find an opportunity to see the city. Prick shrank her neck when she heard the gentle, sweet voice of the Grand Prince, whom she had respected all her life. A voice like that was not trustworthy at all. However, you must take Khunwati to see the city. Choingfa gives a sweet smile to the Grand Prince, while the conversation reinforces the status that the man isn't unoccupied like other single young men. Prick, who had been considered a witness in this matter since last night, noticed how different the Grand Prince's eyes were when he looked at Chongfa and Chomongrom. Prick can sense it. Even if she could choose, she wouldn't want to know. Yes, Choyong, a very clever strategy is considered to be of Chongfa because when she referred to Lady Parvati, the Grand Prince could only respond with a few sentences. When evening came, Princess Anil returned, and Prick herself would have to leave to serve her overlord rather than follow Choyongfa like the daytime. However, Princess Padmika wished for her niece to accompany her out of the city to stay with a friend who was also a ruler of the north. Princess Anil is naturally in a position where Chongfa can quickly intervene and get close to her. Sister Chow, Prick could have sworn that even if you could dissolve all the sugar from three worlds, it couldn't be as sweet as the voice of Chongfa when spoke with Princess Anil a moment ago. Will you have time to talk with me, Chow? Chongfa extended her hand and invited Princess Anil to sit on the guest chair on the balcony where the twinkling stars could be seen. Okay, Choyong. Princess Anil laughed as she knowingly glanced at Prick. At this time, Prick could only shrink her neck like a turtle in its shell. She squeezed herself as small as sticky insect, hiding in the nook of the dark wooden planks of Chaufa Palace. She quickly hid behind a large pillar knowingly. Yet, with excellent hearing, she could hear every conversation between Chongfa and Princess Anil. How was your visit in Chiang Mai this time, sister? Last time I was busy with my father's funeral, so there wasn't much time to welcome you. Prick immediately realized that, although Chongfa's voice when speaking with Princess Anil sounded sweeter than speaking to Chomongrom and the Grand Prince, it sounded so real that Prick could feel it. Chiang Mai is as beautiful as at Chaoyong, Princess Anil wisely answered, as Prick had anticipated. Today I am able to see the city with great pleasure. Please don't blame yourself. I just regret that I didn't join. Choi Young Fa's light brown eyes looked extremely sad, just as she had said. The problem is that the Vice Prince's car is tiny. Choi Young, Princess Anil said, giggling, but the look in Choi Young Fa's eyes looked like it needed more explanation. I don't deserve to sit next to you. It's not like that, Choi Young. Prick's prediction was precise. Princess Anil was too vulnerable to reject people in a way that they couldn't even look at each other. It's just that our time doesn't match. I'm trying to think like that, Choyong Fa with a calmer expression than before. But I'm not sure. Why are you so serious about this? Princess Anil changed to sit cross legged and put both hands together on me respectfully. I can't help but think that you're trying to avoid me. Not just these 2 days, but since the Hua Hin trip. At this point, Princess Anil had difficulty swallowing her sticky saliva down her throat. Is that true? Isn't it? It's not like that, Choyong. I have many activities to play with and lots to do. Princess Anil looked silently into Choyong Fa's light brown eyes for a long time, desiring to comfort the person before her and relieve her from worries. Anyway, you're trying to avoid me this time. Choyong Fa's voice sounded more solemn and depressing than ever. Can you think like that? Princess Anil's voice was extremely gentle and sweet. Even Prick was listening from afar, was embarrassed that her face couldn't turn red. Did I express myself too clearly? Joyongfa asked out of nowhere before pursing her lips tightly into a straight line. What are you expressing? My obsession with you. At this time, Chongfa's voice sounded broken and vague, but it was so profound that Princess Anil couldn't pretend that she had not heard as she had initially planned to do. I know. Chongfa raised her head and met Princess Anil's dark eyes, eyes filled with many feelings that she wanted to convey to Princess Anil. I know it's evident, but I couldn't restrain my behavior much because what I feel for you is so great that I can't hold it back. I know that right now I don't have the right. Chong Fa suppressed a sob in her chest. Mother has arranged Chamong Ram for me. I just wanted to tell you to know. In every moment of my thoughts, since the day I met you at the wedding of the Grand Prince 2 years ago. At this point, Chong Fa stretched out her beautiful thin hand, caressed the back of Princess Anil's delicate hand, who, at this time, was still listening to her with a very gentle touch. Both while I was sleeping and when I awake, all of them are yours, who possesses them all. I know well that we can't be together. Both we are close relatives and are women as well. Chong Fa sadly continues to speak as if she would never see Princess Anil's face again. I just want to let you know that however my life will change from now on, it doesn't matter who owns my body. At this point, Chong Fa's clear tears continued to fall. Chow Yong? Princess Anil wiped away the tears of her elder relative in a shock at not being able to do anything. Chong Fa stared at Princess Anil's beautiful face through her eyes that blurred with tears. She grabbed Princess Anil's hand and pressed it against her cheek before saying the last sentence in the voice filled with sobs. The owner of my heart will only be you. That's it for this chapter, guys, and I'll see you next with chapter 39.